Welcome back. Last week, Governor Whitmer signed two bills that lawmakers say will bring cleaner drinking water to schools in Michigan.
In essence, the bills require schools and child care facilities to have filters to take lead and heavy metals out of the water before it can be consumed by the kids.
Joining us now to discuss is Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So if you could start with the highlights of this, we're calling them the filter first bills, right? And what exactly led up to them passing now?
Well, this is representing our leadership that the governor and I in this legislature are showing on making sure that every child in Michigan has access to clean and safe drinking water, and doing so at schools and at child care facilities and places where we've had infrastructure that needed to be upgraded or repaired for a long time. But this is taking Michigan from the state where we had the Flint crisis to now having filters first, so that every child and every family, every parent can be confident that the water that their kids will have access to and drink at school is going to be clean, is going to be safe, and it'll help make them healthy and be better positioned to learn.
And Lieutenant Governor, how long do the schools and the care centers have to implement these filters?
Yeah, so the process is ongoing. We certainly want to have this get into operation as soon as possible. So they're going to be having support from the state to get these checks happening immediately, so they can make a plan for water safety in their facilities, and they're going to be able to implement them ASAP.
And would there be enforcement? What would happen with that plan?
So that's what, well, we're going to make sure they make the plans, and they'll work with the state to make sure that those plans are robust and that they are real and achievable. And then once those plans are set, then yes, we'll be holding them to account. But we've been showing leadership here in Michigan. We have one of the strongest rules for lead and copper, and making sure that lead and copper is removed from our water, from our systems across the state of Michigan. So we're going to apply that same kind of approach to what we're doing for schools and child care facilities.
All right, Lieutenant Governor, let's pivot a little bit and talk about the UAW. So day 41 of this strike, it's estimated the strike has already resulted in $98 billion in economic losses, a lot of them right here in Michigan. At what point does the government step into these negotiations and say enough is enough?
Well, the negotiations are between the workers and the companies, where we are not a party to those, but we absolutely all have an interest in this coming to a fair resolution, and coming to a fair resolution quickly. Nobody wants to strike. Anyone who's walking the picket lines will tell you that. What they're looking for is fairness in their contract. And I know that the companies want that as well, because we want to get back to the business, to making components, to making vehicles, to making cars. And we're excited for people to do that as soon as possible with a fair contract. So our role is to encourage everyone to stay at the negotiating table, to keep working together, to find that common ground and get a deal.
Now, if there's no conversation about intervening or stepping into the negotiating table at all, is there any possibility of stepping in for the workers, some of whom have been on that picket line from the beginning?
I mean, I'm in communication with workers and the companies on a daily basis, so understanding and continuing to encourage them. We want people to know that we want this to be resolved, and to be resolved fairly. And I believe that that is absolutely available to us. And so we're going to stay in tune and stay informed, because this connects all of us. Every one of us is connected to someone who's impacted by this current work stoppage. So we want it to come to a resolution. So we're staying connected to make sure that happens.
And is there a way that your office is working in solidarity with those UAW members who are striking right now?
Well, certainly. I mean, I have stood with UAW workers on the picket lines. I've also been in communication with the leadership of the companies. So we're making sure that everyone's, again, at that negotiating table to get a fair contract. We believe these people are Michiganders. They work hard. They're ambitious. These companies are important to our economy, and we want to make sure that we can stem these losses with a fair contract, so everyone can get back to work.
All right. Lieutenant Governor Garlin Gilchrist, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.